Bodybuilding fam, what's good? This is Brant with Classic Physique Collective, bringing you coverage of the 2022 IFBB Texas Pro. And today I'm going to be covering, starting out with the Classic Physique division. So this is going to kick off Friday, August 12th at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time in Irving, Texas. It'll also be 10 a.m. Eastern Time for pre-judging. And the finals will start at 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 Eastern Time. And I'll be sure to link the live stream down in the description for y'all to go and purchase it. Make sure you go support, watch the show. So time to get into the fun stuff. We're gonna hit the Classic Physique lineup, check out who's competing this Friday, starting at 9 a.m. pre-judging. So our first competitor, we've got Harold J. Bright Jr. out of Texas, Derek Ewing from Louisiana, Jorge Luis Guerrero Gallegos from Mexico. I know he finished 4th at the Tijuana Pro and went against some really solid competitors there, so he might make some noise here. Could definitely see him sneaking his way into the top 8. Next we got Isaiah Hilton, then Vince Krause, who's making his pro debut, John Lay. This is his rookie year as a Classic Physique Pro. Did pretty well at the Vancouver Pro, finishing 2nd right behind Branch Chen, who is definitely no slouch. Placed 4th at the Olympia a couple years ago. John also placed 3rd in Chicago. So very solid competitor here. I really like John in this lineup. Next up, we got Ashwin Lucas. He competed in this show last year, placing 5th. Ashwin's a very, very good poser. Next up, we got Matt Maldonado out of California, then Vladimir Markov. And then my pick to win it all is Courage Opara. He won Tampa last week. He's going to be going for his 5th pro win. And Courage is definitely a guy who I see moving up in the pro ranks this year. The only Olympian in this lineup. So I personally think it's his show to lose. Another guy who I really like in this lineup is Valentin Petrov. Now, he placed 2nd at the Finland Pro, which is kind of a smaller show. And I had my doubts initially about, how strong of a competitor he might be until last week when he finished 3rd at the Tampa Pro behind Courage Opara and Adeli Anara. So Valentin's a guy who's got great shape. So he's definitely somebody to watch in this lineup. And then next up we got Florian Porson. He's my dark horse for this whole lineup. And we'll get into photos later on. This guy has a crazy classic shape. He came down from the open class, kind of downsizing, trying to get into this more classic look, make the weight cap. Great lines, great symmetry, and he works with Patrick Tor. So anybody who knows bodybuilding coaches, Patrick Tor is the man. Also helped Keon Pearson get a win at the Tampa Pro in their first show together. So watch out for Florian Porson. That's all I gotta say. Next up, we got Jai-Chen Chang. We got Kim Santos, who did this show last year, placing 7th, came in 5th at Tampa. Dominic Semenza out of Washington. Aaron Sparenberg. Adam Thomas out of Falls Church, Virginia. Adam's making his men's Classic Physique debut, usually competes in men's physique. He and I used to train at the same gym in Virginia when I lived there. Shout out to Adam. Last guy on our list, we got Jared Thompson out of Tupelo, Mississippi. Jared's got a very solid physique. Very hard, dense, grainy muscle. He finished 3rd at Atlanta, so he's another guy to watch. All right, so let's get into my top 5 for the 2022 IFBB Texas Pro Men's Classic Physique Division. At number 5, I've got Jared Thompson out of Tupelo, Mississippi. I really like Jared's physique. Just that glute ham tie-in is nasty. Look at that separation. I really think Jared's conditioning and hardness can take him far in this lineup. So I got Jared in 5th. Next up, in 4th place, I've got Valentin Petrov, who placed 2nd in Finland, and then also 3rd last week at Tampa. Valentin brings really nice shape to the Classic Physique division. I think one thing that is gonna hold Valentin back might be his posing. He's got incredible shape from the front especially. However, I think his hamstrings from the back might be a little bit downside compared to some of these other guys. Here, if we look at his back shot, Valentin and Courage are right here in the middle. So you got Courage on the left, Valentin on the right. Pretty similar physiques up top, right? Similar detail. You could maybe argue that Courage has a better top line with the bicep peaks, and also his anterior delts just pop more in that top line. However, when you look at the glute and hamstrings of Courage, he's a mile ahead of Valentin. Valentin has a great physique, but this is one area that might hold him back in this lineup, because the guys I've got ahead of him are good from the back. So that's one thing holding him back. And then his posing and his side shots could also improve. So if we look at this shot from last week, you'll notice that Courage looks bigger in his side chest because he's opened up, whereas Valentin's a little bit more closed off. So, I mean, his hamstrings from the side are about the same size as Courage's, and you can maybe say Courage has bigger biceps and delts, but it's not by a wide margin. I think Valentin just needs to open that up a little bit more, and that could, honestly, that could be the difference in a placing or two right there. So, Valentin, very solid competitor, awesome shape. I've got him in fourth. Third place, I got John Lay. So John finished second at the Vancouver Pro behind Branch Chen. John also took third at Chicago. I really like John's shape. John has very solid posing, just a very good competitor all around. I'm gonna take him in third. In second place, we got a wild card though. We got Florian Porson. I mentioned he was coached by Patrick Torr, so you know he's gonna bring the conditioning, he's gonna be polished there. Really, it's just a matter of how he can present himself on stage, because moving down from open to classic physique, especially against a guy like Courage Opara, you're gonna need to bring your A game with posing. If we look at Florian, I mean, he's got great shape. Just look at that crucifix pose is nuts, and the cuts on his quads, just awesome shape. Solid V-taper, could probably use a little bit more in the lats from the front. But the roundness, oh my God, this dude looks fucking nuts. Then my pick to win it all, Courage Opara. I've got him winning back-to-back shows. He's gonna take his 5th pro win. Just has everything that you could want. He's got roundness, fullness, great shape, great posing. I mean, this guy doesn't have any weaknesses. Really, the only thing that's prevented him from being a top Olympian at this point is size. He's just been outsized in the past, and I think he could still work on his size, but goddamn, this dude looks fucking nuts, especially from the front. Like, his quads are crazy. If he brings his lats up in the future, I think this guy is a top 5 Olympian within the next 3 or 4 years, without a doubt. So I've got Courage taking the 2022 Texas Pro in the Classic Physique division. You heard it here. That's a wrap for the video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Also check me out on Instagram at CPC Bodybuilding. Thanks for watching, y'all. Take care.